We just had a 3K pump, but the Bitcoin party, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Cramer has just turned bullish on Bitcoin. We'll dive into that. Obviously, inverse Cramer. Blackrock, they do begin buying Bitcoin tomorrow. And the mainstream media, they are really starting to warm up to the cockroach that cannot be killed, which is Bitcoin. Check out this. Blackrock is seeding their spot Bitcoin ETF with 10 mil. Bitwise is seeding theirs with 200 million. Hashdex, a measly 2.8 million. Wisdom Tree is seeding theirs with 2.5 million. The funds are starting to flow. We're going to see more and more of this. And yes, Blackrock does begin with that $10 million in a seed funding tomorrow. We are at block height. Bitcoin Genesis Day today. Obviously a day ahead. Big celebration to Satoshi for everyone that is here. We are a day ahead here in Australia, so you will see this message tomorrow on Time Chain Calendar. But Bitcoin Genesis Day, on this day in 2009, the Genesis block was mined by Satoshi Nakamoto, launching the Bitcoin network. Happy birthday, Bitcoin. So excited, I don't know how I gave that a miss. Obviously, Jan 3, 2024, block height 824,052. We are seeing, we're almost at 45,000. We did smash 45,000 yesterday. We'll dive into that. 44,908 sats per USD, 2,227. Fees 1.1863, 15.95% of the reward, 7.4363. Next halving, ladies and gentlemen, only 15,948 blocks to go. Mempool fees are a little bit cheaper at the moment than what they have been. Unconfirmed transactions, 289,055. There's the numbers. Now, let's dive into what Cramer has to say. Let's go.
All right, ahead of the open, which is about 2 minutes from now, take a look at Bitcoin. Above $45,000. That would be the first time since April of 22.
Jim Cramer is coming on. This is just a setup, yeah?
Since April of 22. You can see, and obviously it had a great year last year.
Yeah, we got that clearing event of Sam Bankman-Fried going down, and that seemed to make people feel, you know what, we're safe. And then the ETF.
We continue to wait
endless
for the ETF.
Right. And look, it's very rare that I've ever seen that this way. Could it be a waiting for Godot? I mean, no, there won't be an ETF. But I do think that the people who are in it for that are going to use that as a chance to sell. But this thing is, you can't kill it.
No, you can't.
And the late Charlie Munger, who was so brilliant on so many things, was blind to this. Now you can say, wait a second, maybe it's all going to come
Jamie
unravel.
Dimon has not spared any negative words.
No, but look, I mean, it's a reality and it's a technological marvel, and I think people have to start recognizing that it's here to stay. The SEC's been against it almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that every one of these is here to stay, but I do think that this is a remarkable comeback that was unexpected, except for all the bulls who turned out to be right.
Gensler does a lot of...
Oh, I love that. This was so unexpected, apart from all the bulls who turned out to be right. If you've been stacking sats, ladies and gentlemen, that is you. Shout out to everyone in the chat. If you can smash the like button if you're watching live or the replay. Crazy, hey? Obviously, Jim Cramer is a paid man, and that's how he's become a made man. In regards to being paid, who is now saying, Jim, you can go and turn bullish? Obviously, everything in the past, if you've inversed what he has to say, you've done pretty good. So maybe a little bit scary, but we'll see how that plays out. I think he's been given that tap on the shoulder and said, all right, Jim, let's go, start getting it out there. Obviously, Jan 3 and Genesis Day, it's a pretty interesting time for BlackRock to be seeding with $10 million worth of Bitcoin. I wonder if they put... There's no coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. So they've picked that day for a reason, and obviously a couple of days before it is set to be approved, we are going to see a huge amount of capital inflowing. We'll dive into the price yesterday because it was wild. $3,000 in one day. We have not seen anything yet, which is amazing. This is just the taste of it. $10,000, $20,000 days, both to the up and to the downside. Get prepared for it. It's going to be a very volatile week. But it was reported the SEC would give Bitcoin ETF applicants the green light today, tomorrow for a launch by next week. Source from Blackrock told Fox Business that approval is now likely to come by the end of the week. It's coming and it is not priced in. We'll dive a little bit more into that. But it's just so amazing how the mainstream narrative is changing right before our eyes, slowly then suddenly, and people are just going to wake up one day and their opinion about Bitcoin, because at the moment a lot of people still think Bitcoin is rat poison squared. Clearly we know the difference, but the mainstream media has planted this infection within people, this mind virus, that Bitcoin is used by terrorist money launderers. It's not good to be able to hold. Now this BlackRock and JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon are involved with it. We are seeing such a huge shift in narrative. And people just wake up and they won't even know that their thoughts have been changed by the propaganda, the programming. Bitcoin's role, so this is Forbes. Bitcoin's role in human rights and global empowerment. Forbes, in countries where those in power weaponize the financial system, Bitcoin offers a way out to retain control over one's financial destiny. It's crazy that this is happening. So Jan 2nd, 2024, this came out. So today, this is pretty interesting. This guy here, Steve Weiss, I don't believe in Bitcoin, has seen no use case other than speculation. He sold half his position on Friday and obviously missed out on that big run up yesterday. But they just don't understand that all you need to do is stack and chill. I wonder what he's going to think in 6, 12, 18 months time.
Weiss, you've been long Bitcoin?
Yep.
So what about now?
Well, this one I trimmed also on Friday, you know, a day too early. Look, I don't believe in Bitcoin. I still see no...
At least he can admit it, and he's honest that he trimmed it a day too early. He shouldn't have been trimming it at all, in my opinion, but I'll let him speak.
No use case, no end market for it. It's just speculative market, but that's fine. I'm just not a believer. If I were a believer in Bitcoin, I wouldn't have shaved it. So I basically cut it almost in half. And the reason I did was I think the news is priced in. So you get the approval for the ETF, and then maybe you sell in the news, because I'm not the only one that bought it in expectation of ETF approval. And that's been the move from 28,000, which is roughly where I bought it almost all of it under 30, to where it is now. Now, the other issue that I had with it is that, what if it doesn't get approved?
Well, I was thinking that. What if it doesn't?
What if it doesn't get approved?
Surprise,
and then it's toast for a while, so it'll recover because they're just true believers driving. And the third thing is, you don't need an ETF. An ETF is great for multiple positions, but you can buy this, you know, Bitcoin. Now there'll be a crypto ETF, but as far as...
Sorry for interrupting. I just think this is a really important point that he's saying, as we don't need the ETF, and he'll dive into it. Steve Weiss is saying we don't need to buy the ETF, but then they push back as well. Quite a reasonable man. It's pretty interesting that he did sell, because he does understand a fair amount of Bitcoin. Obviously, he just did not put in enough hours. He started to and fell short.
As Bitcoin goes, it's very easy to buy. You can buy it with no commissions on Fidelity. You can buy it in Robinhood. You can buy it everywhere. So I don't know what an ETF does for Bitcoin itself. Now,
well, doesn't it theoretically open it up?
It does.
I mean, to
it does.
A larger
because people
pool
are so
of
used
investors.
to buying ETFs at this point. There'll be more demand for it, without a doubt. But my point is that
there will be more demand for it, without a doubt.
I just thought it was prudent for a non-believer to take a lot off the table and book the game.
Your point, Weiss.
Pretty
long Bitcoin.
Sorry,
yep.
So
let me pause that. How amazing. Hey, shout out to everyone in the chat. 100 on the dot. Smash the like button if you can. And drop any comments, questions. They are live at the top of the screen there. Don't be too degenerate. We're going 2 days without swearing. Today is day number 2. Update. It was reported the SEC would give Bitcoin ETF applicants the green light today, tomorrow for a launch by next week. Source from Blackrock told Fox Business approval is now likely to come by the end of the week. The reason why I bring that up again is just to remind you that this is coming. It's not priced in. Volatility will happen. We'll come back to this because mainstream media is just really starting to go, I won't even use that word. We'll go positive. They are turning very optimistic. So it's interesting, really interesting. Now, let's go. This is in regards to yesterday. We'll jump into the charts. Give me 2 secs. Just bear with me for one moment. Here's all great. I just want to do something really quickly. Here we go. Let's go 7 days. So if I bring this up here, this was yesterday, yeah? Let's even, sorry, it didn't zoom out. Computer, it's a monitor I can't really see. What we saw yesterday, $3,000 price pump. We're going to see more of this, but it's going to go both ways, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just going to be up. We will get wicks down as well. So please just have a game plan, a stack and chill. This is a long-term play. Or you can be like Steve. He did well as a trader. 28,000 sold it at, I don't know, 41,000 potentially when on Friday, which would have been around about right, 41,000. But if you just hold it, if you just stack, you set yourself up for a much better future long term. The reason I say that is this is the calm before the storm. If you haven't been here for a bull market before, it really truly gets incredibly wild and very exciting. A lot of fear mongering on those big wicks down. Just have a plan. It's all good. Now, Len Alden, 92.5% of equities are held by the top 10% wealthiest Americans, a record high concentration. Where's that going to flow into Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin to $1 million and possible people? So many people are going to start to call for Bitcoin $1 million this cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's possible. The probabilities, I would not be banking on it. But Bitcoin, as somebody said there in the chat, it's either going to $0 or $1 million. In my opinion and my strong belief, it's not going to $0. It will get to $1 million. On what time frame? I'd just relax in regards to the cycle. I wouldn't be counting my eggs before they hatch, the chickens before they hatch, but it is possible. And it's only a 64x from the low 16,500. And 1617, it did pull 120x. Obviously, a lot more needs to flow in here. We don't know what is happening. Obviously, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, is changing their tune. We see Jim Cramer change their tune, Blackrock change their tune, JP Morgan, without saying it, are changing their tune. Everybody, CNBC, MSNBC, everybody is turning so bullish. And there's going to be a lot of black swans this event. We are already being warned that there's going to be black swan events. What the World Economic Forum and the WHO are doing is preparing for cyber attacks and things like that. Yes, I know it's a little bit dark and maybe not related to Bitcoin as such, but this year is going to be wild. Bitcoin and self-custody and store your seed on something other than paper. Somebody yesterday said $11 is too much for a bit of steel. I don't care really what you put it on. Just don't store it on paper. Try to find a cheap, easy option. For me, I spent over $1,000 Australian last week protecting my stack. So $11, is that too much? Maybe, maybe not. Up to you. Get it off the exchanges and off paper. The only safe haven in the world where your property can be stored without fear of confiscation is Bitcoin. This was obviously a glitch in the matrix yesterday. Nothing to see here. Move along. US 1 month bond yield. This happened at the same time that Bitcoin pumped. Caitlin Long bringing it up here as well. US 1 month T-bills yield had skyrocketed 13% in a day just as Bitcoin price shot up at the same time. Short-term T-bill spikes usually a sign of a financial entity of systemic size blowing up. Fred Kruger, we will have Fred on the show as well. A ton of people DM me saying that the Bitcoin ETF is either won't happen, will definitely be a sell the news event, and will only attract marginal interest from Wall Street. Oddly, all these people claim to be Bitcoiners. A lot of them were pretty bullish in 21, even 22. They got so hurt that even those who didn't sell still have massive scar tissue. I was there. I had a very significant stack. I didn't sell. I bought more. I'm massively bullish. I think the ETF is going to be the biggest event in the history of Bitcoin. Excuse me. Although this won't be clear for a few years. I see this because I've spent a significant amount of time on Wall Street, have been an active trader for 30 years, have had multiple venture-backed exits, and at the same time understand Bitcoin. It's kind of an odd vantage point. I do get the scar tissue angle. I don't want to generate hopium, but I am calling it like I see it. If you have any questions, tag me on Twitter at Sean Clark 911. We'll come back to this very dystopian there, a little bit creepy. This is just why we need to prepare, stack stats and chill. Joe Burnett, high net worth individuals, HNWIs, won't experience a sense of missing out on the substantial gains of Bitcoin. High net worth individuals will panic once they recognize their assets are rapidly depreciating in Bitcoin terms. Your wealth is melting by Bitcoin. We're going to see that more and more on mainstream media. I think this is the narrative that will start to be pushed, especially by the likes of Blackrock, one of the greatest charts in the world, in world history. This is Bitcoin on the yearly time frame, up and to the right. So when in doubt, just zoom out, ladies and gentlemen. Forget that up, down, and sideways. Long enough time frame. It is up and for the right forever. Laura, Bitcoin 80 IQ Patriot, shout out, low fees, currently consolidate them if you've got them. Now, I'll bring this up. It's a pretty good video. CNBC says SEC could notify the spot Bitcoin ETF issuers as soon as this week if they've been cleared to launch.
Hey, David, good morning. So Bitcoin's new bull run is being driven by two upcoming events. First, there's this hope for an ETF approval, and then something called the halving that's coming up in April. It's up 65% or so in the past 3 months. ETF, that is the big driver, guys, of this price action. The SEC has a January 10th deadline to approve or reject the ARK 21 shares ETF. That's Kathy Wood's proposal there. Reuters reporting that the SEC could notify issuers as soon as this week if they've been cleared to launch those ETFs. If approved, guys, this would be a publicly traded fund tracking the price of Bitcoin. So investors theoretically wouldn't need to go to a crypto exchange or hold Bitcoin directly themselves, so it may lower the barrier to entry here. Because of that, some are arguing it's going to bring in a wider range of investors and then potentially more institutional interest. Then you've got something called the Bitcoin halving. That's coming up in April. The key thing to know about that, Bitcoin's new issuance gets cut in half, so it's a way to keep a cap on supply there. The code is written so there's only ever 21 million coins in circulation. This dynamic makes it less profitable, though, to earn new Bitcoin and more competitive for what are known as the miners. So these are the companies using those massive, high-powered computers to create new Bitcoin. Those mining stocks, you think of Marathon Digital, Riot Blockchain, those guys up about double digits today or so. MicroStrategy and Coinbase also higher.
This lady, I quite like the way that she articulates and explains Bitcoin. And we could see it as early as this week. Other people are calling for still the 5th to the 10th. Just a reminder, folks, the comment period doesn't end for some ETF applicants until midnight on Jan 5th. Although the ETF applicants may know earlier, very unlikely the public knows anything before next week. So we are getting mixed messages there. We're definitely going to find out today or tomorrow. We're going to find out next week. Does it really matter? When we find out, we find out. We'll be there, we're stacked, we've chilled. So what are you doing? Are you acting accordingly? Are you studying Bitcoin? I'm going to bring it up. Today's show sponsor, Bitcoin Evangelism. Read the books or eat the bugs. Super simple. Great book for the holiday season. And another thing, seriously, just put it on steel minimum, something other than paper. If we do vibe, hit the subscribe button. We'll get on with it. Robin Sayer, Bitcoin ETF holders, they get price appreciation. But if you hold it in self-custody, you get price appreciation, freedom technology, censorship-resistant money, no rug pull, no hack, independence from any third party. Choose widely. Bitcoin ETF holders or Bitcoin self-custody holders, bloody degens, as some of you gentlemen out there. Anyway, just in the Morgan Stanley Europe Opportunity Fund, 140 million assets under management, may invest up to 25% in its assets in a Cayman Island subsidiary, which could indirectly invest in Bitcoin through futures or Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I'll see if I can bring this up any bigger for you. The fund may invest up to 25% of its total assets in a wholly owned subsidiary of the fund organises a company under the laws of the Cayman Islands. The subsidiary may invest in Bitcoin indirectly through cash-settled futures or indirectly through investments in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, BTC, GBTC. Pretty interesting, hey? It's slowly, then suddenly. So if you are here now, you have one. We'll bring this lady back up later. So in a creepy dystopian New Year's video, Christine Lagarde confirms ECB is preparing to roll out a CBDC, study Bitcoin, opt out of the totalitarian nightmare. Great reason to be able to stack and chill.
Here at the ECB, we are the custodians of the euro. We serve you by taking care of our currency, working for price stability and making sure that we keep the euro fit for the future. We are 25 years old, but this is only the beginning of the euro's journey as we bring our currency into the digital age by preparing the foundation for a possible digital euro to complement cash. By the way, by the same token, we are also working hard on even more beautiful banknotes.
How easy are you finding to spend cash at the moment is a question that I'd like to pose to everyone. Let us know in the live chat. Can you use cash wherever you go, or is everything tap and pay these days?
We will keep working towards greater European integration in whichever way we can. Your euro, your money.
Yeah, lies, misinformation, propaganda. That's the worst. It's easy, though. We just opt out, stack Bitcoin and chill. Now, Alex Svetsky is probably the greatest toxic Bitcoin maxi that has ever been in the Bitcoin space. He will be here live tomorrow, and we will be starting tomorrow about 26 minutes from now. So definitely hit the subscribe and the notifications. Alex Svetsky is the creator of the Bitcoin Times. I'll just show you this here. I've been waiting. I've had this for so long. I cannot wait to open them. There's the 3 editions there. A prolific author, but he also created Satoshi AI, which is a Bitcoin large language model. So like a Bitcoin AI program. Cannot wait to have him on, but this is the type of thought patterns from Svetsky. It's my belief that the quality of the money is a reflection of the quality of the culture and civilization it enables. We live in a world of excessive quantities and ever-receding quality. Everywhere you turn, there's mass media, mass retail, politics, food, market, social media, consumption, hysteria, medicine, mass money, mass everything. As a result, few of these things carry weight or value anymore. They contain no charge. They have no energy. They are like worthless Zimbabwe and hyperinflated toilet paper money. And from this kind of world, high qualities or low quality character people emerge. Nietzsche predicted them and called them the last man. I've called them the lemmings and the masses, those who lack a will to power. More lemmings. Hurry up with I won't read it. We're trying to be too good on the channel, not swearing, and the stuff gets me riled up. But have your own opinions about it. There's Svetsky's lemmings there. I would say I agree. So anyway, the NPCs want to be herded who lack fertility and almost devoid of energy that makes life possible. Look around, this is the world now, and it's a sad state of affairs. The very measure of life, procreation, is plummeting in every developed country. Those regions are aging and dying. But as they say, the night is darkest before the dawn. Nietzsche also predicted the coming of the Ubermensch, the one who would transcend the sorry state of the last man. The breed of man whose character would represent the highest potential, pulsating with vitality and the raw will to power. The one overflowing with abundance and power. So Alex Svetsky. This is a passage from the final essay in the energy edition of the Bitcoin Times titled Uber Money. You can find the full essay in their bio. There, I have retweeted that at Sean Clark 911 for you. That is going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I'm going to get into the comments very shortly. We brought this lady up. Thank you very much, ma'am. She did really well. She articulated Bitcoin really, really well. And we do see the mainstream media narrative turning very very bullish. So we are, this is going to actually be down a little bit, I believe, 44,724. So it has come down quite a bit in the last, I don't know, how long have we been live for? 24 minutes. It's all gravy, stack and chill. Is this an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen? It still looks green on the 24 hours, but it's a great big button. And has this updated? Do we need to hit a refresh there on it? Are we going to get the same price? So we've got a little bit of discrepancy, 44,724, 44,918. Either way, 45,000 was in play. We hit it yesterday. It is still in play today. One thing, let's just jump into Cramer real quick. Obviously, we played that video. He capitulates on Bitcoin, technological marvel. It's here to stay. Mad Money Host 3 months ago was highly bearish in the world's largest cryptocurrency. So that's why I say a lot of people have inverse Cramer and they've done really well. It's pretty interesting now that he has been given the tap on the shoulder to be able to. It's just interesting. I find it really interesting that he is now going pro Bitcoin. Anyway, let's jump over to the comments, ladies and gentlemen. 160 people live. If you've got a question, put a Q there. Otherwise, just smash the like button and be kind on the chat. I've done 2 episodes in a row without swearing. We'll see if we can get a week. Hey, it's you make it difficult sometimes. Shout out to Johnny. AI gone wrong. What a name. GJI, morning from Cairns. Bitcoin locked away is now riding the wave. Love it. Blaine says, g'day, Sean. Happy New Year from Cambridge, Ontario. The Bulls were right, mate. Hello. Immunization. Good evening from Gothenburg. Jim Cramer, Retro Beaver having a laugh there. If it's not going to zero, the Bitcoin price going to $1 million per coin. Absolutely. I have used Bitcoin to finance democratic movements in China. It goes both ways. Sell a kidney to get one Bitcoin. Brendan is saying Steve Weiss, who we brought up earlier, got absolutely played. Caster Davidson, just at work waiting for a tractor, and I see this channel live, was watching a Thor clip yesterday and was reminded of Sean when I saw and heard Chris Hemingworth. Appreciate it. I'll take that any day. Thank you very much. And waiting for a tractor, maybe out there on a farm. One thing in Australia, they down south a little bit further, like we've had some crazy wild weather here. And we don't need to jump down the tinfoil hat side of things. But a lot of the farms here have no power, and they won't have power for ages, so the cows can't be milked, so that the shops are starting to run out of milk as well. Control the weather, control the world. Okay, Johnny Moore, he forgets about the average person with self-custody. Johnny, he forgets about the average person with self-custody. Do you mean like it's going to be easier for people with the ETF to just be able to hold it instead of self-custody? Maybe, but that's what happens when you need to take 100% responsibility. You need to read the books. You can reach out to someone like the Bitcoin Way, not sponsored. There should be a link there. I'm pretty sure I've put a link for them. Not sponsored. They're a cybersecurity expert. If you need help taken into self-custody, whatever you do, don't leave it on the exchange. Don't leave it up to luck, up to chance. You've done so well to get here. You've beat 99% of the world population. We can see the narrative changing and shifting. So I think the average person, like we all started out not understanding. I'm not sure if you're meant in regards to that, Johnny, but that would be my message if I interpreted that correctly. This man is steeped in made and trade fire, should probably stay there. He'll do fine. I think that's back in regards to Steve. Retro Beaver, look up my first name. I heard Cramer likes Bitcoin again. Should we be scared? Potentially, very much so. No, greetings from the Canary Islands, man. Have a good 24. This year will be a big one. It absolutely will be. It's going to be lit. When Cramer says it goes down, it's a sign to buy. Thank go, I listened to you, Waffles and Whiskey. G'day, Waffles and Whiskey. What a name, hey. And now Steve has capital gains tax event. Eric JT. Puff. Nobody watches BSNB. That's nice one, slipped it in there. BSNBC, good morning from Cairns. Got my Bitcoin. We got into that one before. Plenty of use cases for Bitcoin that Steve goes wrong. The unbanked, rampant inflation countries, and even any country is running higher inflation business use. It mines does. And what's Bitcoin turned into? Is it like the world's 16th largest currency or the 13th largest currency? And it's only been around for 15 years. Being the world's scarcest, hardest asset to ever exist. We're not really, really early, but you're still early. You've beaten 99% of the world population. People are starting to wake up. The institutions are starting to wake up. The people that control the world are starting to wake up. So yeah, amped BTC and self-custody. Bitcoin has massive amounts of use cases. Kathy buys her own funds with her other funds. So this Kathy from Mark 21, Dave, you was referring to. So we'll have no problem filling up ETF Bitcoin with money from her other funds. Southwest Carpenter. Remember, there's a limited supply of Bitcoin left. The multiplier effect could turn this crazy really fast and all the come and gun. Absolutely, it could. The multiplier effect, maybe it reduced a little bit, but we have seen about 118x multiplier effect. It's pretty sensational, hey? If you don't know about the multiplier effect, jump on to British Hodl's YouTube channel and go back through some of his past videos where he explains it really, really well. I do see it reducing a bit. I don't think for every dollar the market cap's going to move by 118, but even if it's half that and we see what we expect to see over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to be absolutely insane. People really going hard against Christine Lagarde. She is AI. I won't read all of them out. Safe and effective. California made it illegal to not accept cash. In Australia as well, being legal tender, it should be, you should be able to use it absolutely everywhere, but due to the pandemic that happened, they just come up with these arbitrary rules, and now they're trying to ban it. They've taken $100 notes out of circulation and things like that, and they just stage more and more events to get more and more control. They know they didn't get 100% control in over the last 3 years. So what happens this year to be able to do it? What cyber attack happens just as the elections happen? I think that's something that I'll be paying attention to. We are at an all-time high for viewers. If you can do us a favor, smash the like button. It really gets the Bitcoin signal out there. And every Bitcoin video you watch, like, subscribe, and comment on all these Bitcoin videos, because it will push Bitcoin out to, as Fetsky would say, the lemmings, but just the everyday person who doesn't understand that Bitcoin is hope. It is that chance for a greater, brighter future. Jason, g'day from Brizzy, Baseline, Benny, GSM. We'll stick with that. I think a Cramer is a rodeo clown. He's there to move fast and distract. I wouldn't use him as a bet, neither for or against anything. Absolutely not. But so many people, I only bring it up for a lot of fun because he's been so wrong. But so many people do follow his advice. It's crazy. It shouldn't be on mainstream TV. Ultimately, people should have to seek it out through their own intention. G'day from Canada, Crypto21. There is a word in front of it. I'm trying to be as positive and optimistic as I possibly can, at least for this week, and without swearing. Neil Padden, g'day and Happy New Year. Ignore the noise, stack and chill. Well done. If you sell, you'll most likely never recover that position. ETF is like buying a picture of Bitcoin. That will never actually be Bitcoin. Cash and cash out. British Hodl is an amazing channel for Bitcoin info. That's where I heard of your channel. Both channels have great content. Crypto21, greatly appreciated. I'm surprised he hasn't got you to change your name from Crypto21 million to Bitcoin 21 million. They'll probably knock the internet down. Yeah, it's really starting to look like that. If, you know, it's not a... I'm going to talk about a altcoin channel, and I don't watch it for anything altcoin related, but there was a great video on Coin Bureau, and don't go at me, but in regards to the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization with their cybersecurity training that they're doing and the information they're putting out, because these elites, due to their beliefs or whatever it is, they need to tell people exactly what they're doing before they can do it. And they do these training models. They did it with the pandemic. now they're doing a cybersecurity attack. It's a very interesting video. And he just goes through the report from what happened at that conference in Davos there. So well worth watching there. And I am getting a message from a great mate, 178 people in the chat. If you can, all smash the like button, hit subscribe if we vibe. You will get the news with the fast facts. Things are changing rapidly. The ETF, it looks to be approved really soon. Whether we get the news today, tomorrow, or next week, we're going to find out whether it's a yay or whether it's a nay. Is the Bitcoin price, is it priced in? Long term, absolutely not. Just stack and chill, my friends. It's always a pleasure. Share this video, and most of all, just do something nice for someone random, for a stranger. Be blessed. Peace.